Us for today's contractor training. I will be your host, Aurora Escott. I am an account manager at LCPtracker, and I'm going to show you how to submit certified payroll reports in LCPtracker. So first and foremost, we're going to open up a web browser and we're going to type in lcptracker.com. This is the area where you're going to access LCPtracker. Up here on the upper right-handed corner, you're going to see a login button, and we're going to click here to log in. And down here again on the bottom left corner, we're going to see a login button. We're going to click on this login button again. And then at this point, you're going to enter in your username. Now, your username will most likely be either a phone number or your contractor's license number. In this case, for this demonstration, I'm going to use my contractor's license number. I'm going to type that in. I'm going to click on continue. And I'm going to be taken to a page where I can enter in my password. Now, note that you have 5 tries to guess your password. But just note that you can always reset your password, and I would recommend it even doing that at the 2nd or the 3rd try. Because after you finish using those 5 tries, you will be timed out. You'll be locked out of your database, and you won't be able to enter it for an extra 30 minutes. So we're just going to walk through the forgot password real quickly here. We're going to click on that button. You're going to enter in your user ID, which in this case would be my contractor's license number. I'm going to enter in my email address, and I'll click submit. I'm going to click on cancel for now. I'm going to back up, and I'm going to enter in my username. Click on next. I'm going to enter in my password. And I'll be taken to a page where I'll see a list of all the databases that I'm currently linked to. You're going to click on the state of Colorado. For the purposes of this demonstration, mine is titled as Sandbox. We're going to click in here. All right. Now we've reached what we call our landing page. On our landing page, you're going to see any notices that pop through that the LCPtracker teams pushes through to administrators and contractors. You'll have to read through whatever notifications are popped up here, and then you'll click OK to remove that notification. Up here, we're going to start with talking about these buttons on the upper portion of your screen. First things first, training materials, which is located in this golden button. We're going to click on training materials, and you'll be taken to our knowledge center. Now, let's just say that you want a visual aid. Well, we have webinars, which are videos that you can access at any time. And we have videos specifically for contractors such as yourself. So if we scroll down a little further under webinars and contractors, we're going to click here. And you're going to see that we have a contractor training class and a contractor training class with subtitles to it as well. You can click either or on the Watch Now button. You'll follow the prompts and you'll be taken to a video that you can watch at your leisure. And this will be essentially what I will be going through in a condensed nutshell form. Let's go back to the main LCPtracker page. Next up, we have our support button. We're going to click on support. Now, let's just say that you have a question on, let's say, submitting certified payroll report. You run into an issue. You are more than welcome to reach our support staff. And you can do so by entering in a message. You'll enter in your first name, last name, etc., anything that's in an asterisk. Or if it is a very pressing and urgent question, I would recommend reaching out via phone and selecting option 4. Now, if it's a question that may be able to wait for a couple of days, then reaching us by email is the way to go. I'm going to back out and go back to our main LCPtracker page. The logout button, pretty self-explanatory. Then we have our live chat feature. So on top of calling and emailing our support team, you also have the option to live chat with our support team. And this live chat is like any other live chat function where you can click on the live chat, up pops a window. You'll click chat now. You'll enter in your information and you'll be connected with one of our live representatives on the other side of the screen. Now, keep in mind, though, that there is a live human being on the other side of the screen, and they do work during our business hours. Our typical business hours are from 5 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, meaning if you decide to use the live chat after 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you may not be getting a response. So, friendly little tidbit there for you. We're going to close out of this and we're going to talk about the co-browse button. Now, the co-browse button is a feature that, let's say you are talking over the phone with one of our support team members and you want to show them exactly what's on your screen and show them, hey, this is what I'm looking at. You may be asked to do a co-browse session. If that happens, your support team member will guide you on how to use co-browse and set that up. And then they will be able to see your LCPtracker screen. A couple of notes though. If you want to show them anything that's like a PDF or an Excel spreadsheet or even a different tab on a different website, they will be unable to see it because co-browse will specifically only show them LCPtracker pages. So that is its limit. Another thing too is that as you're using LCPtracker, if you find that, hey, this system could benefit with a specific feature, we do have a suggest a feature button here for you that you can click on, and it will take you to an area where you can suggest your ideas. On top of which, you can browse through other ideas that other people have provided to the LCPtracker team, and you can vote on it as well. I'm going to go back to the main LCPtracker page. One last thing that I would also note about logging in is that it will time you out. The session will time you out after 15 minutes of inactivity, meaning if you're not saving your progress or if you're not clicking the save button on any of these tabs or any of these areas within 15 minutes, the system will mark you as inactive and will boot you out of the system. And then at that point, you will be asked to re-enter in your user ID and your password. So keep that in mind as you use LCPtracker. Alrighty. Now with that, we're going to talk about the main landing page. So here we have several tabs that we will be going over each and every one. Down here further, we have welcome and the title or the name of your company. And we're going to see that we have another link to our on-demand videos. Let's just click and see what happens. Oh, we're back at our Knowledge Center. In addition to our videos, we also have guides and training documentation for contractors as well. So for example, under training documentations, we can click on contractors. We'll scroll down and we see here a contractor user manual and a contractor quick start guide. These two guides are going to be your best friend if you like written guides to reference. I'm going to go back to the main LCPtracker page. All right. And now we're going to talk about these two tabs, the Projects tab and the Certified Payrolls tab. The Projects tab will show the projects that your team is assigned to. You'll have the project code and the project name. And I specifically also want to show the Show Info button. If we click here, we're going to see the specific project information, specifically the prevailing wage administrator. This is going to be the person you're going to be reaching out to if you have any project-specific questions. So for example, if you have questions about maybe a specific rate that you're entering, or maybe you have a question on an apprentice that you're trying to submit a certified payroll report to, this is the person that you're going to reach out to. If it is a question on how to use a system, or if you have any notices or error messages pop up, that's when you're going to want to reach out to the support team. So that's the difference there. Project stuff, go to your show info button, reach out to your prevailing wage administrator. LCPtracker questions, go to our support button. And then we also have the certified payrolls tab here. We're going to click here, and you're going to have a drop down of the projects that you're assigned to, and you'll be able to see a list of payroll certifications that have already been submitted for this project. And we'll come back to this tab shortly. Alrighty, first things first. Once you log in for the first time for LCPtracker, you're going to want to go to the Setup tab. So let's go to the Setup tab. And the reason why we're going to go to the Setup tab first is because you need to set up your electronic signature, aka your e-signature. This is going to replace your wet signature. And the way you can do that is by going over here to this first column, last button down that says Edit Reset e-signature. You'll click here. Your user ID will automatically be populated, and you will create a password and repeat the password. And we do have some password rules, and this password will act as your electronic signature. After you enter your e-signature password twice, you'll click accept. Now note, this is different than your login password. However, you can make them the same password. I'm going to click on cancel, and I'm going to show you where you can actually edit your login password. And again, your login password is different than your e-signature password, but you can make them the same. Up here under edit login password, you can edit the password you use to log in. Your username is stated, but however, you will have to enter in your current password, and then you'll be able to enter your new password and repeat it as well. There are certain password rules that you will need to meet. After that, you'll click on save. I'm going to click on cancel for now to back us out to our previous page. Now I'm going to start up here where it says add edit employees. This is the area where you are going to enter in your employees that have worked on the project and that you need to submit certified payroll reports for. Let's click in here. All right. So up here, we see this blue bar that likes to stay hidden sometimes. We're going to open that up because this is our filtering area. Let's say you have over 25 employees and you have several projects that you're managing on your database. You can filter out by specific projects, by cities, by last name, and you can click on Load Employees. Let's try that. I'm going to enter Finster and see what happens. We're going to load my employees, and I'm going to see a drop down here that says Select an Employee, and up will pop up all of the employees that have the last name Finster. I'm going to scroll a little further down. And here we're going to see that we have several sections that have a red asterisk to it and several sections that don't. Those sections that have a red asterisk means you must complete this in order to save your progress. So for example, you'll enter in the first name, the last name, the address area, this information will be added down here under the address information section. So don't worry about entering anything here. However, you will need to enter in the social security number, the driver's license state and the driver's license number, the phone number. We're going to keep scrolling down. Another item too. Now, this box here, I verify that this employee is eligible for employment after having completed employment eligibility verification for the I-9. This box is not red asterisked. However, it is required for you to check off this box if it correctly pertains to this employee. So just make sure to remember this little golden nugget. It doesn't have a red asterisk, but you will need to check off this pertains to your employee. We're going to keep scrolling down. Now we've hit the address information. So for LCPtracker, our system is tied with the United States Postal Service to make sure that accurate address information is being entered. So that means if you are entering, let's say, an address, we're going to practice here. I'm going to enter in the city and the zip code. You're going to have to validate the address by clicking this box here. And the system will pop up with a message saying, hey, is this the address that you mean? Why, yes. Yes, it is the address that I mean. All righty. Well, it looks like there's an additional message that pops up. And this says, hey, you know, this primary street address has been validated, but it looks like it is missing an apartment or a unit number. So that means it'll be able to tell if an address is an apartment address or a unit address. And it will tell you go back and make the update. So we're going to click on OK. We're going to make that update, and we're going to enter in that apartment number. With that, we'll click away, and up will pop the validate address button again. We'll click that one more time. Ah, perfect. Now it's reading the complete address. So we're going to click on it, and now we're going to see a green check mark that says the address has been validated. Now note, sometimes you may have an employee that lives in an extremely rural area or lives in a very newly built area. Now, if one of these situations occur and you know the address information is correct, you may need to reach out to your prevailing wage administrator to validate or approve of the address. And remember that prevailing wage administrator is over here on that projects tab under the show info button. So we're going to go ahead and scroll back down. In addition to that, you're going to need to select a demographic classification for your employee. We're going to click on Add Classification. And here we see two little red asterisks that thought they were going to stay hidden, but nope, we found them. We're going to click under Demographic Type. You're going to be required to report on the veteran status of your employees. Now, there are a couple of options here to choose from: not a veteran, service disabled, and veteran. You will select whatever properly applies to your employee. After that, you'll click on Done. For now, I'm going to click on Cancel. We're going to keep scrolling down. If it's a specific HUD project, you'll enter HUD information here. If it is an apprentice that you are working on, then you will enter in that apprentice information here. Now note, in order for you to finish certifying your certified payroll report, your apprentice will need to be approved. And to do that, you will need to reach out to, again, your prevailing wage administrator, which is found under the projects tab under the show info button. So I'm going to keep scrolling down. Now, you will be able to tell once an apprentice is approved by coming here to your specific employee. And this area that says apprentice approval will show approved or rejected. So make sure to, if it's an apprentice, to fill in this area as fully as possible. We're going to keep scrolling down. And here we have the section of default hourly paid fringes. So this is an area that we like to call a time saver. This is the area where if you're paying your employee fringe wages to any third parties and you have rates that are consistent and will not be changing frequently, this is a great area to enter in those rates. And the reason being is that the system, when you're entering your certified payroll report, will read the rates that you have entered in for this employee, and you can it'll calculate for you the total fringe amount for that certified payroll week. And we'll get more into that too as we walk through submitting a certified payroll report. Same thing here under pre-tax voluntary employee contributions. If there is a pre-tax amount that your employee is consistently paying at a specific rate Week in and week out, you can enter in those rates here too. Down here, there's a section for default other deductions notes. So let's say you have a deduction that is not your typical state and federal taxes, and these deductions consistently happen over and over and over again. You can set default notes to enter and auto-populate every time you are submitting a certified payroll report for this specific employee. And again, we'll get more to that later on in this session. For now, I'm going to click on cancel. Yes, I want to discard my changes. And we're going to back out and we're going to finish talking about this area. The next button that we're going to go through is the fringe benefit and maintenance button. You might be thinking to yourself, well, Aurora, we just talked about the area of fringe benefit rates in here under employees. What's the difference? Well, what I have typically seen in my experience is that for teams that are usually 25, that have 25 employees or less, going to the individual employee level might be beneficial. However, if you have, let's say, more than 25 employees on a project and several or maybe all of these employees have the same fringe benefit rate, it would be beneficial to use this area instead. But please note that if you use the fringe benefit maintenance button to continue and use this button moving forward, if you decide to use the fringe rates under the employee button, to use that area moving forward. Because if you use the both of these buttons at the same time to manage your fringe rates, it's gonna cause some problems. So once you pick one, stick with one. So let's go into the fringe benefit maintenance button. Let's check this out. In here, you can select specific employees, enter in their specific fringe rates, and you can click save. You'll also be able to select the specific project and effective date as appropriate. We're going to click on cancel and we're going to go back. Alrighty, we've talked about the login password. We've talked about the e-signature. Now let's talk about the company information button. This is your company info page. So we're going to click in here. And you're going to see all of the little specs of your contractor information. You're going to have your company name, your federal tax ID, your contact name, address, and you can enter in any business certifications here too. Now, if you ever need to update anything, you are more than welcome to make those adjustments here. However, you will not be able to update your company name. You will need to reach out to your prevailing wage administrator in order to do so. So we're going to scroll down and we're going to click on cancel to back out. Another friendly note too is that if you are ever assigned to a different LCPtracker database, you can absolutely use the same login information. The only thing that you'll need to do is to go into your company information and send them a screenshot of your contractor information page. That way, you're not accidentally creating more user IDs for yourself. You're minimizing that risk and you're keeping just one user ID to use. So keep that in mind. Let's click cancel and go back again. Alrighty. Copy employees. Let's say that you are already assigned to multiple different databases. You can copy employees from one database to another. So for example, you can go into copy employees. You'll enter in the source user ID. You'll enter in that password, and then you'll enter in your targeted database. So for example, let's say you have a database for, let's say a different state, the state of Texas. And now you want to move those employees here to the state of Colorado database. You'll enter in the state of Texas user ID, your password, and then you'll enter in the state of Colorado user ID and password and click on copy. I'm going to click on cancel because we're going to go back. County match, craft match, project match, craft name, and work order are all features that you do not need to worry about for the state of Colorado. Feel free to ignore those. Add edit additional users is a button that may be helpful for your team if, let's say, you have multiple people on your team submitting certified payroll reports. So we can click here under additional users, and you can set up your additional users to log in and help you submit certified payroll reports. All you'll need is their email address, their name, and their phone number. Now, keep in mind that while you, as the primary contractor user, will be logging in either with the phone number or the contractor's license number, any additional users will be logging in via their email address. Their email address will be their user ID. So that's one little caveat here of adding in additional users. So we're going to click on cancel to go back. And we're finished with the setup menu. Fantastic. Let's go back to the payroll records tab. Now, here at LCPtracker, we have the saying that submitting a certified payroll report is as easy as 1, 2, 3. And those are the steps that we're going to take today. There are a few different ways to submit certified payroll reports. You can manually enter them. You can copy them from a previous payroll that you've submitted. You can upload them if you have a using one of our templates, or if you have an accounting or payroll software that is partnered up with LCPtracker, and we'll go more into that. Or, and this is a paid feature, you can use what we call our DPI, which is our direct payroll interface. Again, this does come at a cost. The direct payroll interface is here in this button, and we'll talk about that first, actually. So what this is that you'll need to submit 4 examples of your typical payroll pay stubs. And what we will do is we'll take that and we'll look at it and we'll train our software to pull the pertinent certified payroll report information from your pay stubs. But again, that does come at a cost, and it does take a little while to set up. So that's one way to submit certified payroll reports. The rest of the ways that we're going to talk about right now, totally free to use. So let's talk about uploading your records. So under the Upload Records button, this is the area where you can submit a template. Let's say you've got 25 employees that worked on a specific project for a week. It's a lot of employees to be manually entering one by one certified payroll reports. So what you can do is you can upload them. We have a template that you can use, and we're going to click in here. We're going to check out this template. It's going to download as an Excel file. We're going to open that up. And you will first land on the Legends page. Now, the legend will say, okay, you have several different colors that you need to watch out for. Certain columns are going to be minimum requirements. Others, not so much. For now, I'm going to click on Enable Editing. There we go. And we're going to go over to the Miscellaneous tab. This will give you any miscellaneous information. I would, again, recommend that you read through this. Third tab over, we see the instructions on how to utilize this template. And then finally, the template itself over here on sheet 1. So here we can see all of the different colored rows and headers as we saw over here on the Legends tab. We're going to go back to sheet 1 and we're going to scroll all the way over. One thing that I would like to mention is that if you decide to use this template, to not change anything on the first row. Leave this row as is. You'll make any changes or any additions in the row 2 and under. So again, for row 1, leave that as is. And then you'll just enter each piece of information as it's requested per the column header. So we're going to then close out of here. Now, once you enter in your employee's information on the spreadsheet, you're going to save it on your desktop. You're going to then select the week ending date that you're submitting for. You're going to select the specific project. You're going to select the location. In fact, let's just do that now. We'll click here. Looks like it's for Boulder County, Colorado. Then you'll click on Choose File. You'll select the template that you were working on, and you'll click on Upload. Now, as well, I would like to also note that LCPtracker does partner up with several accounting systems. And by partner up, I mean that these accounting systems already have an upload that you can use by logging in, by going into your accounting system, finding that upload, taking that, and then uploading it here. Now, we do have a list of accounting systems, and I'm going to click this button here. And this list of accounting systems doesn't show all of those that we are partnered up with. However, these are the ones that have provided some type of guide for you to find that upload in their system. So for example, we're going to pick on Paychex software. Here we see that they have provided uploading instructions on how to find it, for which employee, etc. Once you have that available, it'll be the same steps as if you were uploading the template. You'll enter in the week ending date. You'll select your project, your location, you'll choose your file, then you'll click your upload button. Now, to find a more complete list of our partners, I'm actually going to go back to our main LCPtracker.com page, and we're going to go over to resources, and we're going to go down to preferred providers. Now down here is a more complete list of our accounting partners. Now just note, however, that we are always trying to partner up with new accounting softwares. So if you don't see your particular accounting software listed here, don't worry about it. Reach out to our support team, and who knows, maybe we're already in the works with that particular accounting software. So we're going to go back, and we're going to go back to the main payroll records tab. Now I'm going to talk about the manual way to enter certified payroll reports. We're going to click on Enter Records. When you click on Enter Records, you'll be prompted to enter in the week ending date that you're submitting a CPR for. In this case, we're just going to say it's going to be for July, week ending the 15th. Now, note that you're going to want to be consistent with the week ending date. If your week ending date always lands on a Friday or a Sunday, make sure that your week ending dates are always a Friday or a Sunday. In my case, my week ending dates always land on a Saturday. So I'm going to select my Saturday date. I'm going to select my project. And now I'm going to select my employee. And my employee for today is going to be Angelica Pickles. We're going to pick on Angelica. Now at this point, you need to add in a craft and classification for Angelica. So we're going to click on Add Classification. And here we're going to see the jurisdiction. You're going to have to select the appropriate construction type. So for example, if it's building or if it's heavy. In this case, we're just going to say it's building. Then you're going to select the particular craft. Let's just say that Angelica Pickles is a carpenter. And from here, you'll be able to select the specific classification. For Angelica, we're just going to say that she's a carpenter and it excludes drywall. And we're going to add the selected. And now we have a an employee that has their craft and classification selected. We're going to click on Next. And it says, oop, hold on. You need to select the craft and classification that you're using. So we're going to say, okay, and select the craft and classification that we've assigned. And then we can click Next again. And here we have our manual entry page. This is where you're going to enter in the gross amount for this project. If it applies, the wages paid in lieu of fringes, you're going to enter in the rates, the base, hourly, and the base, overtime, and double time rate if pertinent. We're going to keep scrolling down. We're going to see here the classification for this employee. And we're going to enter in the hours worked for this employee. Further down, we're going to see, fringes. Hey, wait a second. Didn't we do something with fringes in the setup tab? Well, yes, we did. This is the area where if you decided to enter in the fringe rates under setup, either in the employee area or the fringe maintenance area, once you hit this section, you'll click on Calculate Fringes, and the system will then take those rates, multiply it by the hours that this employee was on site, and then will populate here as appropriate. In this case, we're just going to keep scrolling down for the purposes of this demonstration. I'm going to finish walking through the paychecks area. So here we have a section that says single paycheck and multiple paycheck. If you have, let's say, multiple paychecks for a particular week, let's say you paid restitution, you can click on multiple paychecks, and you'll see here that you'll have the opportunity to add an additional paycheck. You'll enter in the paycheck information. You'll select the paycheck reason, whether it was regular restitution or adjustment. And you also have the opportunity to make any notes. Speaking of which, let's cancel. Let's go back to just a single paycheck. So you're going to enter in all of the deductions, federal, Social Security, etc. And then down here, you're going to enter in any travel and subsistence, the gross pay for all projects, and the paycheck amount. Now, there are two red asterisks here, which is the paycheck number and the payment date. If you paid your employee via direct deposit, as an option, you can enter DD for direct deposit. Alrighty. For the purposes of this demonstration, I've already created a certified, an unedited certified payroll report. So I'm going to click on cancel. I'm going to back out. I'm going to click on cancel again. Now let's say that you're working on Angelica Pickle's certified payroll report and you have to step away and you're coming back in. Well, where does that draft live? That draft lives under Edit Uncertified Payroll Records, and that's exactly where we're going to go to. We're going to click here, and we're going to see, okay, for this project, I have Angelica Pickles and Lillian DeVille listed as drafts. So I'm going to remove Angelica for now because I made a little boo-boo. I should not be submitting this individual just yet. I'm just going to focus on Lillian. So I'm going to click on this box here, and we're going to click on Edit. And we're going to see that I've already pre-populated all of her information. I've got my gross amount, I've got my rates, I've got, take a look at that. For this individual, she is being paid her fringes in cash. So I enter her cash rate here. We're going to keep scrolling down. Alrighty. And here we see that we have a few notices pop up. So notices are items that will tell you, stop, you cannot submit certified payroll report until these items are fixed. So let's take a look at them one by one. This top one is the I-9 checkbox. that says, hey, it has not been confirmed if this employee is I-9 verified. Please go check it out. And this is where we have to go back to the Setup tab, which we'll do so right now. We'll go to the Employee area. And we're going to pick on DeVille. I'm going to click on my drop down just for fun. We're going to click on Lillian DeVille. And I'm going to come down here and say, uh-oh, you're right. I didn't click on this box. We're going to click on that because I know she is I-9 verified. I'm going to scroll down and we're going to click on Save. Oh, take a look at that. There's multiple pieces of information that are still needed. So for example, here we're going to take a look and see for the Social Security number, it's got to be in a specific format. Okay, very well. It is asking that it needs X's, and then the last 4 digits are going to be the appropriate numbers. So we're going to do in uppercase 123 -12, and then the last 4 are going to be open. We're going to scroll further down. It is requiring a phone number. So we're going to enter in a phone number. It's asking for a driver's license. So we're going to ask for the driver's license state. Let's just say this employee is out of state. Here, it needs the driver's license number. We're going to keep scrolling down. And let's see. We also have a little notice that says to enter or update the address, please navigate to the address information section below. Looks like this address is verified, so we're still good to go. We're going to keep scrolling down and we're going to click on Save. We're going to click on OK. We're going to scroll back up and we're going to see everything is looking hunky-dory. So let's go ahead and go back to our payroll records tab. We're going to go back to our uncertified payroll records area. We're going to pick on Lillian DeVille. And in this case, we're not going to select this box. We could just click on Edit. And it will take us to our manual entry page. We're going to scroll down and we're going to click the Save button again so that the system clears through any notices. Oh, and look at that. It went from several notices to just one notice now. We're going to click on OK. And this is telling us, hey, there is a value for other deductions entered, but there's no notes to explain them. Okay, no problem. Looks like there's $10 of some other type of deduction. I take a look at my notes and I see, oh, Lillian paid $10 in for their 401k. So 401k deduction. And I will write that in under other deductions notes because it is another deduction. So I'm going to scroll back down and I'm going to click on Save. We're going to say A-OK. Alrighty. Now at this point, we've cleared up all of our notices. So we're going to scroll back up. And the next thing that we're going to do is check tab number 2. So let's go to tab number 2. In this area, you'll be able to see if there's any lingering payroll notices. For example, those notices that we have just cleared. Because there's no more notices, we don't have any payroll notices here. Now you can also specify per project. So right now it's under all projects because I just have one project assigned to me. Now under administrator notices, however, this is an area that if your project administrator has sent you out some type of notification, that notification is going to live here. So make sure that you're popping in here pretty frequently and just double checking that you don't miss anything. In addition to that, if you see an administrator notice here, you will also or should have also received an email notice sent to your email with this exact same information. You can then read the specific details. In this case, it looks like it's for this project that I'm working on. It's letting me know, hey, I am allowing you to edit a certified payroll report that you've previously submitted, which is fantastic. And we'll get to more of that here in just a second. Now, after I've made sure that all my payroll notices have been taken care of, we're going to go to tab number 3, which is certification. We're going to come here and we're going to select our particular project. Up here in green, it's going to tell you what week ending date was your last certified payroll submission. And on top of which, it'll tell you the last payroll number that you've submitted to. Down here, you have the option to select if you have work to be reported for a specific week, if you don't have any work for the specific week, or if you don't have work for multiple consecutive weeks. In this case, I do have work to be reported for this week. And then I'm going to enter in my week ending date. I could take a look up here and say, okay, my last one was submitted on 5/6. I know that that the certified payroll report I was working on was 5/13. So we're going to click here. My payroll number, my last one was 9. This is now going to be 10. You're going to enter in your name and you're going to enter in the title. I'm a payroll specialist, so I'm going to enter in my title as such. Then I'm going to click on next. Alrighty. I'm going to keep scrolling down. And then at this point, this is your statement of compliance. You're going to fill this out as if you would any written version of the statement of compliance. If you have an employee that has fringe benefits that was paid to a third party, you'll select this box. If you have fringe benefits that were paid in cash, you'll select this box. In my case, for Lillian, we're going to select B because they were paid in cash. You'll enter in any remarks as necessary. Then you'll enter your e-signature. This is your digital signature that you created in your setup tab. So I'm going to scroll back down. I'm going to enter in my e-signature. Click on save. Alrighty. And now you'll be taken to a page where it's asking you for you to verify if you've had a subcontractor on this particular work week. In this case, we see the options, yes, I've had subcontractors on this project, or no, I did not have any subcontractors on this project. In this case, I'm going to say, no, I didn't have any subcontractors on the project for this week. And I'm going to enter in my e-signature password again. Then I'm going to click on save. Okay. Now, it says that that the certified payroll report has been created successfully, and it will be displayed in a separate window. Now, if you have a pop-up blocker, this window may have been blocked, and we're going to see that up here in my view, my pop-up blockers did block this particular certified payroll report. However, you could always go back to view your CPR report by clicking on OK. Oh, and take a look at that. Alrighty. So once you click OK, you'll be given the option to go in and make any adjustments if maybe you think that you've created some type of boo-boo. But in this case, we just want to see the certified payroll report that it looks good. So we're going to go back to the main projects tab. Alrighty, looks like it auto-populated to just have me pop over to the certified payrolls tab down here. I have my project selected and I'm going to see, yes, here is my week ending 5/13 date that was submitted. It is performing and the accepted status is listed as submitted. This means that it's just been submitted. No one's looked at it. No one's accepted it. No one's done anything with it yet. Over here, we have 3 buttons, which is edit, report, and details. If we click on report, you will have your weekly certified payroll report pop up. This is where you can take a look and view and see, yep, everything looks hunky-dory. We are all okay. We're going to go back. If you click on the details button, you'll see a little bit of the details of that certified payroll report, and you'll also have the option to view the CPR report one more time through this button here too. We're going to go back. We're going to go back one. Alrighty. Now let's say, for example, that you made a mistake. You should have added in an extra note in the other deductions area, and you have to go back and adjust it. Well, if it's labeled as submitted, you can still go back and make those adjustments. However, if the certified payroll report has been accepted, for example, here we see on 318 that this report has been accepted, you will need to reach out to your project administrator and request for this a certified payroll report to allow you to edit. So we're going to go back up here. I'm just going to show you how you can edit a certified payroll report if it's been just submitted. We're going to click here. Alrighty. So now we are at the Edit Certified Payroll page, which looks very familiar to the page we saw after we created our CPR. And here you can edit the payroll number. If it turns out that this particular payroll is actually the final certified payroll report, you're going to click on Yes, and you can click on Update. For now, all of this information is fine. I just want to click on Edit down here because I want to edit specifically Lillian DeVille's information. I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to tell myself, oh, you know what? This wasn't $10 of a 401k deduction. This was actually $5 for a 401k deduction. And in addition, it was $5 to, let's just say, a third-party insurance company. So third-party insurance. Alrighty. We're going to then click on Save. We're going to say OK. It's going to say, all right, no notices have been triggered. We're good to go. And then rather than going straight back to the Certifications tab, what you can do is you could go to the Projects tab. And again, it'll take you to the Certified Payrolls tab. And here we see there is an orange button now, or well, rather, the Edit button has turned orange. And you're given a reminder that says, hey, you have some records that you need to certify. Click on that orange button. So we're going to click on that orange button. And here you can recertify your changes rather than going straight over to the certifications tab. Here we're going to enter in the name of the person certifying, which is me. I'm going to enter in the title. We're going to certify the update. It'll ask you to fill out the statement of compliance one more time. We know that she was paid in cash. We're going to enter in your e-signature password. Okay. And we're going to click on Save. Oh, take a look at that. So when you are making any edits to a certified payroll report, you will be required to enter in any additional remarks. For example, in this case, it was updating the other deductions notes. And I'm going to enter in my e-signature password again. We're going to click on Save. Alrighty. Perfect. And it will ask you again if you had any subcontractors for this week. In this case, this stays the same. No, I did not have any subcontractors on this project for this week. So I'm going to enter in my password one more time. I'm going to click on Save. Alrighty, and we see over here in the upper right-hand corner that a little pop-up has been blocked. It's that certified payroll report. We're going to click on OK. And now we're going to see that there's a little bit more information here. we're going to see that there is a superseded status and a certified status, meaning it's showing that, hey, you've submitted this certified payroll twice. So we're going to click on cancel. It'll take us back to the certified payrolls tab. Now, at this point, there's a couple more tabs that we need to go through, namely the reports tab. Let's go here. So there are a few reports that you can run that will help you manage your certified payroll reports. For example, the payroll details report is a handy one to have. So we're going to click here. This payroll report will show you the specific details of the certified payroll reports that you've submitted. All you'll have to do is just enter in each parameter, click on View Report, and up will pop up a preview. So we're going to check that out right now. We're going to select our contractor, sub to, work order, week ending date. We're just going to throw in a random number here, weekend date to today. And if you want this exported to an Excel file, you'll select yes. And if you just want to take a look at this on the screen, you can select false. So we're going to click on View Report. Alrighty. And this is the view of the certified payroll report, or the certified payroll details of the CPRs you've already submitted. Pretty handy. Let's go back to the Reports tab. Another useful report that you might use is the payroll details with uncertified payrolls. So let's say, for example, you have multiple drafts of certified payroll reports. This may be handy to run as well. Alrighty, let's go over to the e-Documents tab. Now, it's important to check this tab when you are first assigned to a project, because there may be some documents that need to be uploaded first before you can submit a certified payroll report. If you try to submit a certified payroll report and you have not submitted anything that is listed as R for required, you will be stopped from submitting that CPR. Let's go into more detail about that. So for example, there's 3 different required statuses that you will see. You have N for no, Y for yes, and R for required before certifying. Down here, we're going to see for the state of Colorado, there's several documents that they have listed. Some of them are listed as yes, this document is required. However, it will not prohibit you from submitting a CPR. There is 1 or 2 that says, this is not required, but handy to upload. But you do have 1 that is listed as R for required before certifying. So that means I got to make sure that this document is entered before I submit my first certified payroll report. So let's take a look at this. This says employee consent for wage deduction. This is an authorization from the employee to deduct other deductions from payroll. The first thing that I'm going to check is to the templates area, because sometimes the prevailing wage administrator will have a certain document that they want you to use. So we're going to click in here. We're going to double check. Oh, look at that. There is a few templates here that I can use, and it looks like there's one for employee consent for wage deduction. Let's click on it. If we click on that, the document will be downloaded. You can click on that document. Alrighty, I'm going to move this over. And we're going to see that there is some areas that need to be filled out. So I'll fill out those areas as appropriate. And once you're finished filling out those areas, you'll save that on your desktop. I'm going to click on X over here so I can log out. We're going to go back to the eDocuments tab. And you're going to upload it to LCPtracker. And you can upload it by going to Upload Documents. So let's go ahead and click on Upload Documents. Here we're going to see some more red asterisks. Again, anything that's in a red asterisk must be filled out. So we're going to click on the project name. We're going to say who we are a subcontractor to. We're going to say what document type this is for. In this case, it's employee consent for wage deduction. Document name, or I'm sorry, the document date. The document date is whatever is the date on the document itself. The expiration date is not in a red asterisk, so we're not going to worry about that. You're more than welcome to, however, supply it if that is the case. You'll add in a description. You'll also select an employee if appropriate, and it looks like this is a red asterisk, so we will need to select the appropriate employee. You can add in any additional comments. Here you'll be able to select your file. So let's just say we're going to go to our documents, and we're going to pick on this document here. We're going to open, and we're just going to say that is our document. This, you'll enter in your e-signature password, and you'll click on Save. I'm going to click on Cancel for now because I want to back out and show y'all that I have already previously submitted this employee consent for wage deduction. We're going to go to View Documents. Now, View Documents is an area where you can go back and take a look at all the documents that you've already submitted. Here, you'll be able to filter out per projects, contractors, assignments, etc. In this case, I want to specifically take a look at, let's just say, this project. We're going to click on Load Data. Oh, looks like nothing has popped up. So that means maybe my filters need to be adjusted a little bit. But regardless, we're going to go back to the eDocuments tab. And we just, again, want to make sure that we're looking through the documents and seeing which ones are required before submitting our first certified payroll report. Alrighty, we've talked about the Setup tab, Daily Reporter. Do not worry about this tab for now. LCP Certified, don't worry about this tab for now. Alrighty, and that essentially concludes our training for LCPtracker and how to submit a certified payroll report. Some of the next steps that you'll have to keep an eye out for is that, first and foremost, you'll need to receive a login email from a do not reply address, which will include your user ID and a temporary password. And the way that you can trigger that is by reaching out to your state of Colorado rep and letting them know, hey, you know, I'm being assigned to this project. Do I have a login user ID, and can you send that information my way? The next thing, once you do have your user ID and your temporary password, is that you're going to have to set up your e-signature. After that, you're going to have to set up your employees. Then you have to upload your certified payroll reports and make sure that you're just maintaining your database. Don't forget that we do have these lovely training materials. If you ever want to go back and reference anything that we've touched on today, we do have those videos and written guides as well. In addition to that, we have our support button if you ever have any LCPtracker specific questions, and to make sure to reach out to your prevailing wage or project administrator for any project specific questions. I'm going to click on OK. Thank you all for joining me on this journey, and I hope you have a pleasant day. How was that, Kathleen?